Good evening, folks. It is Monday. You know what that means, right, Bobby? Well, different to usual, but you know what I'm saying.
Must
Um,
be Monday.
do you remember?
They still do that.
Yeah.
Not really. No one watches. Double or Nothing 2022 is in the books. We have all watched it. I sense a great degree of aggression, spite, anger, frustration waiting me. I actually text you and said, I've never done this to you before, but I need you to be there tonight for moral support. Because while Bob is a lovely boy, he is a more reserved personality, and I fear that if he is my tag team partner in this duel, we will be um, slaughtered, quite frankly. So I said, shoot, I need you here. It's going to be a debate, I fear. I'll start with you. Shoot, how are you this evening, pal?
Doing good. I thought the show last night sucked. No, I'm just kidding. um,
Imagine I
yeah,
didn't check with you and I just asked you to come on for support and you just said it
yeah,
sucked.
that was the bit. So I so
I love when Joe says something and then she just goes, "Well, that was the bit," like that.
yeah.
It's like, can you give my cock and ball back at any point, or am I just gonna have to sit here like, okay, fine, yeah, carry on.
I So Joe did that. That's 100% true story. The other aspect of that story is as he sent me that message, I was
Yes.
literally typing a message saying I wasn't going to do the review show.
Yes, you hate review shows, so you know I would never request you unless I felt I was in a pinch, and I feel I'm in one tonight. So
Yeah. So
you get what you get.
I don't hate review shows, but they're not my forte.
You're not your favorite thing, right? So,
Yeah.
Bobby, I cut you off earlier as you went to speak because I'm a piece of shit. How are you tonight, pal?
I'm doing
Anyway,
well.
Joe, so what I no.
That's a good bet. No, I'm doing well. I enjoyed the show for the most part. Excited to get into it here.
Yeah. I've got the cage match ratings in front of me, Bobby. Ready to go. Got analysis ready to go. Jay Shell, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm having a good weekend.
Yes.
Wrestling with Whiteness came out and quadrupled my expectations. So it was quadruple or nothing for me this weekend.
What number are we at now?
2,150. I just looked at it.
Damn good.
Did any of those views come in after the basketball game ended last night?
Technically, yes.
There you go.
Maybe like 500 of them actually.
Oh wow!
But that was due to
Wow.
a space promotion thing for
You're
me.
you're not the only person to claim that in the last 24 hours.
No. You get what you get. The Oracle of Wrestling, you've yet to unmute, but I'm assuming you are ready to answer my usual "How are you this evening?" question. How are you this evening?
Seems to be a problem here because
Yes, agreed.
the behavior of one Joe Holbert has concerned me.
Agreed.
He seems to be suggesting that he really enjoyed the show, which is fine. But if he really wants me to test me, I can really play devil's advocate.
Oh, I think
really
you'd
get
got
him
there.
going.
I think you'd got there. It's fine.
So-
I know. I understand.
It's a
I understand what I
challenge.
signed up for.
It's a challenge. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. All right.
Oracle, how long was the Christian DDP match at WrestleMania?
I want to say that match was about 6.5 minutes.
Somebody
Do you know
check
the
it.
answer? Shoot.
What's that?
What?
Do you know the answer?
No, I don't know the answer.
All right, let's get into it.
Oracle, are you looking it up?
I probably should. Hold on.
We have a lot of matches to talk about, so there's no time to waste. Let's get into this thing. Hook, Howson, Tony Nese, and the smart Mark Sterling. This was almost like the exact match that we all would have laid out, like beat for beat, exactly what you expected. Bobby, that's a good thing in this case, though, right?
Yeah, it works. They did what they had to do. The people in the building enjoyed it, and I didn't have a problem with it.
Me either. Jay Shell, I know you've had your problems with the Danhausen Hook alliance. What did you think of this one?
I liked it more than I normally would like this sort of thing from them.
Yeah.
So it surpassed my expectations for it. I wasn't raving over it, but it wasn't criminal. It felt like the space it was in felt good. Like the buy-in made sense for it. So
It wasn't criminal. You agree this wasn't criminal? Have you not seen this? You haven't seen
I
this, have
didn't
you?
see it.
Anyway,
So
You're-
you asked me to do the review show, and I said to
Yes.
myself I should watch that
No.
Hookhausen match and the rest of MJF and Wardlow before the review show, and then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play video games instead. So
Agreed.
We love to see it.
We have some announcements to make. Sugartooth followed us as Kirby Freeman subscribed with Prime or how, and Bam gifted a sub. It's my pal Whiskey Dick. A hype train has started. Croaky Boy has subscribed at tier 1. Hangman's Horse has subscribed. A hype train has started.
What
One
is
day
a
we'll
hype
know.
train?
my
I don't know
God.
how fucking rules. That sounds so exciting.
All I know
the
is
grinning
Johnny
thing's there
Gargano
now.
owns them.
Pop.
Huh?
I changed the hype train emoji from like whatever it was to Grinny,
Oh, God bless.
and it
Hell
worked.
yeah.
That
That
rules.
rules.
The Oracle of Wrestling, did you enjoy this Danhausen business?
I thought this was neither bad nor was it good. It existed. It merely existed as an entity. I found it inoffensive.
Yeah.
It did not overstay its welcome. It was fine.
Good.
That's my thoughts.
Fuse Nova is subscribed with Prime also. We appreciate you guys. We have almost 70 people in here. We're in a level 2 hype train.
Whatever that
Thank
means.
you. Main show. MJF had been the story of the weekend. I really did genuinely, and people can vouch to watch the prediction show with Jack. I thought that some of this drama was going to come up in the booking of this match. I didn't think it was going to be the whole story of the weekend. He was first out. There was a delay there.
They're
which
doing emojis of our faces.
Thank you. Shoot, throw some of those on the screen while I'm talking here, pal, please.
That looks so
Thanks, pal.
cool.
That's,
We
that
have
is
all
rubber.
of them except for Bobby still because he's
Yeah, we
still
know
under
why.
review.
We don't have to talk about that here.
Oh
MJF
my
being
god,
late
somebody
out of
make
the
a reverse Oreo.
MJF being late out of the curtain was a shoot, which is hilarious. This was actually what I'd have done, quite frankly, even if there were no extra circumstances. I thought this was exactly what the doctor ordered. I was very much pro emphatic victory for Wardlow. I thought they did the right thing. Jay Shell, what did you think of Wardlow's dominant win over MJF?
Sorry, I don't know why this is so funny to me right now.
That's fine.
I don't know, that reverse Oreo thing always gets me. But I actually think that this match was laid out the way that it should have been. I won't discuss the MJF discourse because a lot of it is just annoying and dick suckery. So I just will ignore it. But I thought the way that they worked this was interesting. How many power bombs they gave him, the stretcher thing, and they put the mask on the wrong way. I thought that was funny. So
That was brutal. The way they put him on that was just incredible. Yeah, I'm with you. I was for this whole presentation. Bob, what did you think?
Yeah, again, this is kind of how I thought it was going to go, even if the whole MJF thing didn't happen. It's kind of how it needed to go. And, it was kind of weird watching it in the moment because it's like, oh, you know everything else going on. But, like, once you just get past all that and watch this wrestling match, it was just what it needed to be.
Big Franco has cheered 95 bits. Fred from Mars has subscribed. We appreciate you guys.
Oh, the bits thing is working now. That's good to know.
Yes, we're almost at level 3. Confirm shoot. What did you think of what you saw of Wardlow and MJF? I don't know. It was
So
only the final notes.
Yeah, I turned this on right as MJF was getting put the diamond ring on. How long was this match, guys?
7 minutes 30. And
Okay.
I think power bombs were about 3 minutes of it. Kind of.
Okay. So yeah, I turned it on right when he got caught with the ring. What I
That was a
saw
good
popped me
moment.
huge. I very much enjoyed that he took about 2 power bombs and then said "fuck this" and put his arms back every time.
Bro, that
and-
was fucking him up. You see, you get blood on his elbows and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what it needed to be. I've watched wrestling long enough to know that things can change, but I would guess that this is probably the last time we're going to see MJF
Yeah.
in AEW for this run. Again, things can change, man. He's under contract for a long time.
Yeah.
He could go home for 3 months and say, you know what, we're going to give it another shot we may see him again. But this is exactly what it needed to be. Happy for Wardlow. Interested to see the presentation of him on Wednesday. Whether he's going to have War Pigs, as everyone has speculated, which would be fucking awesome. But all in all, this was a major win. Whatever, we don't know everything's going on, so I'm not going to go into like calling MJF unprofessional or any of that stuff because we have no idea what happened. But at the end of the day, he showed up, he did business. He made Wardlow look great. Did exactly what he needed to do. We'll see what happens, man.
Absolutely. And you need to figure out something different, I think, anyway, when he comes back off this, because this was a familiar playbook in terms of the program. It was probably the most, effective version. But MJF putting a whole lot of roadblocks between him and an opponent has been explored now. So you needed something new anyway. Hopefully they figure it out, man. Hopefully Max gets what he wants. I can't grade the dude's gripes. I don't work there. It could be as simple as the way someone talks to him, the way he feels. And I'm not in any position to judge his read on.
I think most of us here are on the same page. We're 99 times out of 100. We're gonna side with the employee versus the company anyway, barring. And so it's just like we don't know what the hell happened. So I'm not gonna knock the guy. He may have very legitimate reasons for doing what he did, and he showed up when it mattered. So
exactly.
What it is.
Did business. So, Oracle, what did you think of the pay-per-view opener?
I refrained from burping into the mic.
Good.
I chose not to do that.
Good.
Out of care for my friends.
Good.
This was very good.
Good.
This was exactly what they should have done.
Good.
I thought it was really well done. Powerbomb Symphony was great.
Good.
Post match was great.
Good.
Whole deal was great.
Good.
Great start to the show.
Good. Yes, Jay Shell.
I'd like to add something. I just thought about it. So I want to compare AEW to a real job. And I know people don't do that often because like you're a celebrity, or you're on TV, whatever. But like I feel like everybody has those moments where they don't want to go into work.
Yeah.
And like they're considering calling off, but they don't do it. And they go in the next day. It's just that this is more public, so more people feel like it's okay to criticize him because he didn't go on the plane. It'd be different if he left.
Are you saying that ultimately he did nothing wrong whatsoever and it shouldn't be a big scandal? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Crazy take, I know. Wild. Listen, I've said this before, and I'll be totally transparent. I say it behind the paywall, say it free. It is borderline triggering for me when people talk about how the right way to handle going and staying and doing whatever. That stuff's, I don't know, man. Ain't nothing to do with me. Do you think? The Hardys versus the Young Bucks. I sense this has been polarizing. My friend, Young Bobby, said he liked almost everything on this show except for this and one other, which we'll get to later. Bobby, I'll start with you. What did you think of the Hardys and the Young Bucks?
Yeah, it was just too long. Like the last 5 minutes or so were actually very good, but yeah, it took 15 minutes to get to that point. I think it was about 20 minutes total. So just they're doing too much at the start, and it just wasn't really clicking. And then, like I said, once it did, I enjoyed it a little bit, but it was just too late in the game, I think.
My God. Shoot, you co-sign this filth from Bob?
The Young Bucks tried really, really hard.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't think this was terrible, but I didn't think it was good either. Wow. I definitely didn't think it was awful. It had its moments. Jeff, I don't know what was up with Jeff. Maybe hopefully he just had an off night. He definitely looked like there were moments where he kind of just looked like he didn't know what he was doing, or what he was supposed to do.
There's a lot of talking in that regard too.
What's that?
There was a lot of Matt actively saying what Jeff was going to do next.
Yes. So, yeah. I thought the closing stretch actually got pretty decent. It was too long, but it wasn't like I didn't think it was insanely too long. Because that can be an issue sometimes with their pay-per-views, and I didn't think it was this, but either way, the Bucks worked really hard here.
I'll be honest, and I think I might be on an island on this shot. I thought it was comfortably good. I thought it kind of started going past that range. I think part of my enjoyment of this is that I think you guys know that I'm like, I probably in my mind almost overstate how washed they are.
Yeah,
I expect
that's
nothing
fair.
from them dudes. So when they were just as hard as Matt was working, because Matt was working really hard, I actually genuinely really enjoyed it, and I didn't really have much particular interest personally. I don't know, man. I kind of, it was kind of better than I thought it would be, and maybe it's a case of I expect so little from them at this point that I enjoyed it more than I should have. I don't know. And to answer this quickly before I throw it to you guys, like, I don't think they should win the tag titles. I think there's a very good chance they do. That's always been my take on it. I think there's a very good chance to do a nostalgia run. That's why I thought they'd win this match for the Bucks. I like the match. I can't pretend I didn't. I just don't really have interest in the Hardys in general. Right? I've been consistent on that, but I can't tell you I thought the match was bad because I didn't. I liked it. So, Jay Shell, what did you think of the Elite versus Delete match?
I felt extremely uncomfortable during most of this match. Until we got to near the end, and even near the end, I was like, "Oh my god, these dudes look like they're dying." I feel like the ending stretch, like people have said, was probably the only part that I really liked about the match. The rest of it, the Young Bucks were trying so hard, but like Jeff was taking so much time in between too. Like I don't remember what move this was, but like I think it was either Matt or Nick that were setting up for a twist of fate to do on Jeff, and it took them like 10 seconds to get into position for it. Like everything was super slow, seemed very discombobulated. The boot thing was extremely distracting for me. I think the Young Bucks did all that they could here, but I think Matt looked a lot better than I would have expected him to in this match. But Jeff, it seemed like a very, very off night.
Yeah, they are what they are at this point, right? I think there's some guys that are gonna get in this setting and really look rejuvenated. I think it's clear that is not going to be the case with Jeff. I think it's been quite the opposite, unfortunately. Oracle, what did you think of this tag team dream match, so to speak?
Well,
match my ass.
Here's the thing. I hope Jeff Hardy's well. I know his boot did come. There was some issue with his boot that was visible, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel, from what I saw, that was the only issue going on. I cannot determine whether or not that's the right way to think, but hope he's well. I thought Matt Hardy did an admirable job trying to keep his side of the team together. He was clearly older, but he was desperately trying to get Jeff to get into the match and get the spots right. And, the Bucks definitely put their effort in and really tried to get it at the right pace. I thought they worked some of a Southern tag. Not enough of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was more of a modern.
They worked the wrong type of match, and that's on Matt and Nick.
Hold
possibly on Matt and Jeff too.
Yeah,
probably on Matt and Jeff too. I'll to be fair, you're right. They worked the wrong match. The match was not good. It was awkward at times. It was never downright terrible. I agree that the finishing stretch had enough drama. I mean, clearly it was good enough to where the fans were popping in the arena, right?
Yeah.
But
anytime Jeff does crazy shit, though, they're gonna pop.
Right.
He's just so over.
Jeff's health concerns me deeply, actually.
That's fair.
There needs to be something done about that potentially. It was very concerning.
I don't disagree.
But the match was fine, but they worked the wrong match, in my opinion. And Jeff's
I think that's fair.
Is a concern.
I think that's fair. I liked it quite a bit, and I think everyone can vouch. They ain't some pro Hardy bias. I ain't really looking forward to it very much. I liked it quite a bit, but I do get and share the concerns about, physically what these guys have got left and their performance here. I think, can we all agree we're not desperate to see them as tag team champions? We say that much for sure, right?
I don't want to see it at all.
No. Yeah, am I crazy thinking that's in play? I really think that's possible.
If I had to bet on it, I'd say it's not going to happen, but I would not be surprised at the same time.
Yeah. Tag titles are hard to beat right now anyway, honestly, with what happened, later in the show. Right? So.
Not yet.
Jade Cargill, Anna Jay. This was very newsworthy and noteworthy, but it was the match itself was less impressive than their first meeting, unfortunately. Especially the first half of it. They looked like they were really struggling. It was just off. Rhythm was off. I thought they did a nice job of packing some drama in it late, as overbooked as it was. I don't think that's necessarily a flaw with the, I thought it worked because the people actually started biting on finishes and stuff, but you saw, unfortunately, the inexperience with these two that wasn't present when they first wrestled. Shit happens. Before we get to the angle and stuff, which was very exciting, obviously. What did you think of the match itself, Shoot?
Much like the last match, I didn't think it was terrible, but it wasn't particularly great either. I think they got a little overambitious with some of their ideas, which fair, you have to. So it's a pay-per-view match versus a TV match. I do agree their TV match was better, but it was also simpler. Some of those false finishes worked, man. When she got the Queen Slayer, I thought she was winning the belt for a second. I didn't think it was the right move, but I thought she was winning for a second. Honestly, I thought it was fine. It wasn't. It wasn't terrible. That's the big thing. There was nothing on here that was really terrible.
Right.
Yeah. All in all, it was mostly there was some. It almost seemed like Stokely was a little late on the finish. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Anna just was too early with how she.
It definitely looked like he was late. Quickly to kind of jump in because we've got a lot to about afterwards. But I do. Can we all? This was not the best introduction of Stoke. And I don't think any of us care ultimately because it's Stokely halfway. We're happy to see him, but it probably was a way there's probably a way that had a little bit packed more of a punch than this. Him kind of just walking out. It's like, oh my god, Stokely halfway, and they did the finish. It was just a little bit. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? It felt like a bonus feature rather than the main thing, which is not what I personally shoot.
He did say in the post show that came together today. The day of the show. So
yeah, it felt like it. Yeah.
His Stokely's no compete ended the night before, and they found out yesterday, and so they brought him in immediately.
Pop.
Now he could be lying about that too, but that was his story anyway.
Certainly could.
Yeah.
Bob, what did you think of the TBS title match?
Yeah, I was a little worried the first couple minutes of where it was going to go, but I think once they pulled it together, it was actually not bad. It wasn't great, but I was entertained, and I think all the cameos and stuff were fun, and it was good enough.
Jay Shell, Jade Cargill, Anna Jay. What did you think of the sequel here?
I think Anna wasn't ready to go to the top rope, and she did it a lot. Try to force herself. She's more comfortable on the ground, obviously. I feel like if they would have worked a match similar to what they did last time, it would have flowed better. It seemed overproduced. Like there were maybe too many hands in the pot for it. Anna looked uncomfortable at times, and so did Jade. I was not expecting this to be the worst women's match on the card, but it was.
Yeah.
But I liked Jade's entrance.
Very cool entrance. I have to say with Anna Jay, she's not a babyface right now. Her doing like a babyface fire up, it's just not the role for her, right? Like she should just be a heel for a bit and if she can find her personality as a heel, then we can go back to this.
Yeah.
But right now she hasn't got that natural babyface fire. When her and Ty were together, Ty actually brought that part of the equation, right? She was kind of like the more easygoing half.
I don't think Anna even really has a TV personality.
She does, and I think you need to try and find it as a heel. I think it's gonna be difficult to find it as a babyface. So
she's very shy. She's
exactly. That is
As a person though, she's really nice, but it just doesn't. Yeah. I don't know how she's definitely that.
She's likable. She's just not she doesn't have much oomph as a babyface.
It's also much harder for the women because they don't get much time to talk. You don't really see Anna unless she's in a TV program. I mean, a title program. So you don't really know how to get and you can't really get it in like 2-3 weeks.
One thing you'll notice if you watch her because she's usually on Elevation and she's usually in a tag team.
Yeah.
And she kind of takes on the personality of the person she's teaming with.
Yeah, which is kind of telling in its own way.
She teamed up with Yuka and she got really energetic and but usually she was teaming with Ruby for a while and it was like you can kind of see her.
Yeah, she's finding herself.
Yeah, she's very young. Like it's not
absolutely. Oracle, what do you think of this one?
Anna Jay had a terrible performance. I think it was mostly seems like the top turnbuckle is not her friend, and was nervous about going up there.
I thought that was true of Jade too. By the way, I didn't think either of them looked
that's fair. I don't think Jade had a good performance either.
Yeah,
I think
that wasn't a defensive Anna.
Right. I think they were hurt by what Jay Shell said. Too much going on, too much overproduction, too much smoke and mirrors.
Do you not think they benefited from those last night?
I kind of think they did.
There were sequences that looked really good.
Yes.
And that's what kind of helped the near falls as well.
Yes.
And then there were just things that were so awkward and bad. And then the way they produced it and like Stokely randomly coming, and don't get me wrong, I popped huge when he came out, but it was just bizarre. Like Anna was like pointing and like calling for him, or like 3 seconds before he came down. It was very bizarre. It was very poorly done. It was not a very good match. Ultimately, the match wasn't terrible from like the complete whole, but it was not a good match by any means. I'm not concerned or worried about anybody. I just think that it was a bad match.
For inexperienced wrestlers, especially, it happens.
Yes, Michelle?
I would like to quickly add, I don't know what they're doing with the baddie section, and I don't really like it very much because I would like to see them wrestle. Because when you did the Jamie Hayter thing with Britt, you made Jamie wrestle for Britt all the time. Do it with the baddie section, please.
It isn't fleshed out at all. It never has been. You and I talked about it then, like some explanation as to what actually the act represents and is will be good. Like Kiera and Red just were with her, and that was that. They didn't really flesh it out beyond that, and the presentation changes week to week. I don't know. I'm with you. It's weird.
They've got an opening to do it now. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean they're going to, but time was kind of dominated by the tournament. Now that's gone. So, and clearly they're doing the 6-person tag is definitely happening. So it's
Speaking of such, Athena's debut sets up that aforementioned trios match. I popped huge for this. I didn't see it coming, to be honest with you. I mean, when they set up the situation, I was like, the one thing I do want to say is before we get to Athena. That was amazing, that moment they had when Chris went face-to-face with Jade, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
How have they... Like, I'm not even trying to do a bit here. Like, they've kind of stumbled into this Chris thing, right? Like, she's hardly been on TV this last few months. Something's shifted, it feels like, live.
How are you going to work your way out of that, too?
I think Chris has got to be the one that does it. I think she has to be the one that
right now?
I would rather do it in a TV main event than on a pay-per-view, personally. And then hopefully you get Jade ready to beat Rosa, you know?
Then Rosa would have to lose, like... I mean, I guess All Out makes sense for her to lose.
Well, no, you'd probably do... You could do that at November, Full Gear. If you think about it, right? Because you could do like a slow rebuild for Jade. So let's say she dropped in like July. You could do like a...
Oh!
At Full Gear. Did I freeze then?
Yeah.
At Full Gear.
The only issue I could see with that is where are you going with this? Are you going all in on this Stokely thing? Because if you are, you probably shouldn't lose the belt immediately when
he'll be fine.
When he just, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
The new Bachwinkle and
somebody got a good idea. But then I don't want them to pin Athena.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Speaking
of Athena, that's a hell of an addition to the women's division. Obviously, hell of an addition to the roster itself. Bob, I know you're a fan like me. Fired up?
Yeah, I am. I've missed, watching her wrestle. I think she can really do some good stuff in the division.
Jay Shell, this pays off our episode 2 or 3 of the famed free agents. Fired up?
I'm very excited. If I feel a lot better, I shouldn't say I feel a lot better because things might not change. I might just say go fuck yourself because look at the results from the and so go fuck yourself, Jay Shell. But I'm excited. I'm not going to get myself excited for this division anymore. I've just decided to just stop trying. Not trying.
I get you.
Stop putting so much stock into it and then just let them go like this to me every time.
Expect little and hope for a lot, right?
There you go.
That's the play. Shoot, Oracle. Anything on the Athena front?
I'm excited for it. Her match we watched with Thunder Rosa at Warrior Wrestling raised her stock heavily in my eyes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've never disliked her or anything, but, she didn't. Her presentation in WWE was always weird. It never quite felt right.
Mixed messages, weird.
Yeah. No, no idea whether that's her fault or their fault. Probably a little bit of both. Probably more their fault than hers, but still, I'm not going to sit here and say none of it's her fault. But either way,
she's not a good promo. It is weird.
Yeah, she's not a good. Yeah. But she still shows more physical charisma than she ever did in WWE, in my opinion.
She has fire.
Yes. It's going to be fun. That match with Thunder Rosa was tremendous. It gives me high hopes for them running it here at some point.
Rosa said she wants it.
Yeah, Rosa's stock has gone way back up in my eyes. We'll get to that later.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, this was. I enjoyed this. It was a little bit weird, but they do surprises on pay-per-views for the sake of surprises, and that doesn't really bother me.
No, it's fine. But
I get why it could bother some people, but
it does show through in the execution because some of them just feel like they're not really a lot of fault. It's just another surprise, right?
Yeah.
I do need to show love to Croaky who sent who cheered 300 bits. Franco cheered another 95 too. Bizarro Will followed, and Walker Steele subscribed with Prime. We appreciate you guys. You seem very fired up about this Twitch gimmick.
Much love to all of you. We're not ever going to do the on-screen gimmick, so we apologize for that, but it'll drive us nuts.
House of Black, Death Triangle. This was a blast, man. I mean, I know what the Oracle of Wrestling's gripes going to be because there was absolutely no sense of who was legal and who wasn't, and the tags they threw them in. I thought this was an absolute thrill ride, and let me tell you something. Shoot, you and I thought we were crazy about this Buddy Matthews thing. That dude's. Did you hear JR talking about him?
Yeah.
He said it's a matter of time, folks. It's a matter of time. I said, yeah, it is, Jim. Matter of time. I've never seen a guy take a super kick with such velocity the way that guy does, He's so explosive in there. I was very ready for what this would be like stylistically, and I thought they nailed what I was hoping for. Jay Shell, this struck me as the match you would enjoy most here. What did you think?
It was one of my favorite matches of the night, to be honest. I know a lot of people didn't like it or whatever, but my favorite part was the fucking ending. I had a feeling going into the show, I was like, they're going to do Julia here. I was like,
she was in the video. Did you see that? She was in the video. Yeah,
they did the Varsity Blondes thing. I was like, they have to do Julia here. And it was perfect timing. Her outfit was amazing. I loved it. She looked like a badass. She had the pigtails. It was great. And also, of course, I selected Julia as our last pick in the draft. So therefore we manifested it. And she's now in the House of Black. So I will be, nope, I did not make any more jokes. Never mind. No.
Absolutely not.
I'm not making any jokes today.
It was pretty cool though, right? Seriously. Cool. Good for Julia. That's a hell of a spot for her. It's like a massive, massive spot for her at this point in her career. So
I kind of talked myself out of it being Julia too during the show. And I was watching it on Zoom with my boyfriend. And I was like, is it? Because he was ahead of me. I was like, is it Bray Wyatt? Is it Bray Wyatt?
Come on. That would have been, I would never have been seen again on camera. It's ribeye followed. That did heel Matt Howarth. I hope I said your name correctly, pal. Baby Penta. Bro, it was a blast. Bobby, pump your fist for this one?
I did. I liked it a lot. You just action packed the whole time. I had the same takeaway about Buddy Matthews. Just dude's excellent.
Told you he was good.
And getting the Julia stuff paid off was a big win for us. So no complaints
for us.
Yeah, we were very invested.
Wow, what an indictment. Okay, Shoot, you with us on this one before we throw it to the Oracle of Wrestling, who is looking very, very, very disappointed in his friends here. Shoot, what do you think?
This was a massive victory for the late night Grin.
Oh wait, baby Penna is Phoenix's kid? Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Buddy Matthews looked great. I mean, everybody looked great. JR putting Buddy Matthews over popped me huge. What a win for me and Joe. And then we finally got the payoff with the Young Jules, who we have been huge supporters of at the Late Night Grin for quite a while now. It's going to be fun, man. This is a big spot for her. I hope she delivers. I don't know. I really like the House of Black. I want to see Buddy get a singles run down the road, but I actually enjoy this House of Black thing. I actually popped for the face paint stuff, which I can't believe I did, but I did.
That's shameful.
Yeah. I hope they do something with Hangman now. I think Hangman versus the House of Black would be very fun.
You think they do Dark Order? Because then they can do Julia Anna.
Yeah, you could do that.
They've kind of been doing the Dark Order feud.
Yeah.
So they could easily do that, yeah. What Shoot actually said there was he wants to see Hangman wrestle Buddy Matthews in the opener of Dynamite in a couple of weeks. So
exactly, yes.
They got Fuego too.
And also Buddy Matthews
Taco.
Just kicking the shit out of unsigned talent on YouTube.
Yeah. The Oracle of Wrestling. You know what, mate?
Yeah, there were some good individual performances in this match.
Good.
I like that Buddy Matthews kept making saves for his team. That was a nice little thread that they threw in there. One of very few threads that they threw in the match, but that's fine.
Spiteful.
Agreed.
Joe, do you know how close I came to doing this?
King popped me huge.
You threw it to him?
Brody King popped me. I particularly, the highlight of the match, one of the main highlights, top 10 moment from the whole show is when Brody King did his Tupelo and almost died.
He used the apron like a pillow and just laid there for a second.
Yeah, it rolled. That was the best part of the whole match. Yeah, that'd be a good 2.25 match. But the
shameful.
I'm gonna do it.
What are we doing? Oh no, Shoot's preparing some sort of.
I won.
I have no idea what happens now.
What's happening?
I played a 30-second ad break.
Wait, what?
On the Twitch thing, there's an ad break thing. I think all of our subscribers can still see us right now.
Hold on. What is happening?
Because StreamYard just records the video itself. So, on YouTube, I have no idea what we're referencing. So
when we get back, we'll ask everyone what just happened.
Does that mean that they're going to see us on the way or they can't hear us?
No, there's still 20 seconds left.
Wait, can they? Oh, they're saying ads. They're getting ads. Left? They're getting ads. Wait,
20
can
seconds.
They hear us after, or are they gonna miss all of what we're saying?
You're gonna miss all of this great stuff we said.
Oh.
No, that's why I'm waiting.
Wow. All right. Well,
I think they're mad at us.
Okay. Don't worry, we're not gonna keep doing that. Some of you just got an ad. Some of you apparently didn't.
Was that your response to the Oracle of Wrestling's review?
Yeah. That's what I was going to do that right when you threw it to him.
That was his response.
Oh my god, the subs are getting ads.
Buried a possible.
Yeah. I promise we're not going to keep doing that, by the way.
To catch the match.
Yeah, we have to avoid that because carry on, Oracle. Sorry, I forgot you're in the midst of this.
I thought before it happened, Julia Hart's going to interfere and help the House Black win. That's what's going to happen.
Good.
And
you use DraftKings for that?
No. And when Pac went up, the lights went out. I began pumping my fist. This is actually true. And when it came back on, Jolie I began screaming and pumping my fist. She, spit the miss. So, I popped for the finish big. But the match was fine. It wasn't bad. It was just
not your thing. I think it's fair to say.
It's weird because Lucha Trios matches from the 80s and 90s are awesome, and they just sort of tag each other. There's like no tags. People just come in and go, but it's different. Different thing. And I love those matches. This here is just those matches usually have some sort of thread. And there's not really a thread in these matches.
Well,
I
mean, Bud Matt landed on his head about 12 times. That was one of my favorite
it's not much of a thread.
I thought it was pretty compelling.
I'll say this. I thought Bud Matt and Brody King both looked good.
In all seriousness, House of Black is a really fun in-ring faction. Really, really fun. All right.
Guys, we apparently got a Buick sponsorship.
Tremendous. Tremendous news.
Thank you, Buick.
It's time to talk about the Owen. Adam Cole, Bay, and Samoa Joe. This looked like a really weird matchup to me on paper, and I didn't know quite what they'd actually do. Neither did those two, apparently, until they got to the building. It was fine. Cole's fine. There's nothing there, There's nothing else. He's just a guy. And Joe sold, and then they did a match, and for some reason they did a Bobby Fish interference in the Owen Hart tournament final. No clue why Joe couldn't just get pinned. Owen was fine, maybe even decent, maybe even good. I don't know. I don't really care about this dude. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Shoot, to balance things out, your view.
That was fine.
No, I thought you were gonna have a more sort of.
No, I mean it was the definition of fine. It's a weird matchup.
It was a weird matchup, right?
I thought Adam Cole should have been the one to win from the moment they announced the bracket.
Yeah,
I'm fine with him winning. They got half the winners right. So.
But Bobby Fish, don't do Bobby Fish.
Yeah, there was no reason for that.
So dumb, and it wasn't even it wasn't like he did anything actually substantial. He just came down.
Well, he's going to get a Ring of Honor TV title shot on either Dynamite or Rampage, and you're going to pop huge for it.
I don't know, man. It's weird how the Owen felt like a lull in the show until the great presentation was awesome, but it's weird it didn't feel like this big thing. Instead, it felt like the opposite, right?
Yeah,
it was strange. Felt very prelim. Bob, what did you think of Adam Cole, Samoa Joe?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I've seen enough Adam Cole matches to kind of know how they go. I didn't really like the interference. It was all right.
You basing that on the fact that he wrestled the exact same match every single time? Is that what
yes, correct.
Okay. Jay Shell, you are freezing violently here on my feed. I'm hoping that your audio will be fine. What did you think of Samoa Joe?
Is my audio okay?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay.
Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, what did you think?
Hot. I'm writing articles right now also, so that's probably why my computer's like, you're a fucking dumbass.
Blow up a computer.
I'm writing about how William Regal wanted to hire Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta to NXT. So, but I thought that the match was okay. It wasn't extremely intriguing, but it was there. I don't know. It felt like an odd final match for the Owen. I don't know. I feel like seeing Samoa Joe and the Owen anyway felt a little odd for me because I didn't feel like his style matched what the Owen was going to be. But they kind of really didn't go based off of style for the Owen. So, I don't know. It was cool. I preferred this result to the other one.
Yeah, I think Cole was a natural choice, I guess. The way it was done was...
I'm also going to be putting up my Owen Hart tournament bracket. I made one for the men and women, so just give me a minute.
Okay. Oracle, you're a big Adam Cole guy. What did you think?
So, I actually thought they worked a pretty good match. I think they worked the smartest match they could have, which was that Samoa Joe stood in the middle of the ring and hit Adam Cole really hard sometimes when he ran at him. So I think it was better for Joe's physical limitations. Joe probably strongly disagrees with that, but that's fine.
Keep talking. Yes, I think it's Jay Shell's computer blowing up. Carry on.
Okay.
No, it's not. It might be Shoot. I don't know.
What are we talking about?
There's an echo. I think it's on your end. Shoot, can you turn your gimmick down slightly?
Somebody make it go away.
What happened there? Why is Santana and Ortiz on the screen?
I don't know. I deleted it. It didn't go away.
Hang on a second. We're having technical difficulties, folks. Please bear with us here.
I broke it.
Right. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Right. We're echoing. Right, hold on. Okay. Jay Shill also unmuted. Jay Shill, unmute.
Sorry.
Okay.
Is that better?
Shoot. I'll unmute you accordingly. I don't know why there's an echo. Oracle, carry on.
Okay. It might be on me.
No, it's not. It's not you. Carry on.
Okay. Well,
what did you think of the match? Carry on.
they worked. I thought they worked a smart match because Joe's physical limitations, and Adam Cole just worked his lame headlock, and they ran, and then he ran at Joe and got hit really hard.
Yeah.
And I thought they worked a good match for it. I mean, it wasn't must see. I mean, as far as the winner goes, I mean, I don't care for Adam Cole, but I think it makes sense that he won it.
I do too.
Find the next match to be much more of a problem.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. To be clear, I'm actually glad you phrased that, Oracle, because I actually think these two did what I thought this would look like. I'm not saying either guy had a terrible performance or anything. I thought it was weird matchmaking, you know? I will say that in terms of placement and length, this tournament did not feel like big at all. Bobby Fish on the finish is, I'll reiterate again, a choice. Speaking of choices, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Ruby Soho, Jay Shell. What do you think of this
should I
one?
start with showing my tournament thingies, or
Yes.
should I do that? Okay, I'm gonna do my.
Does Julia win it in this one?
No. So, I made it a Young Lions tournament. Basically, I made it a breakout tournament because
Blake Christian in there. Look at
stop.
this.
Stop.
Look at this.
I would rather you name me a young unsigned talent from the Indies who's not a part of Impact or New Japan Strong.
Johnny Elite.
He's not young. That's an old man you just named.
He looks good. He's got to be at least 45 now. He looks young.
Okay.
I'm with the Lee Garcia thing, but Garcia was in a better spot on this show, which we'll get to be fair.
Oh, very true. But
you know, I get you though.
I would have liked to just see them use the Owen to elevate somebody. I added John Silver because I didn't know who else to add, and I think that if you wanted to, you could switch Takeshita and Dante Martin and put Takeshita in the semis, but up to you.
Can we all agree that if we'd have just put Lee Moriarty in Johnny Elite's spot, it would have been immediately like 15% better? Like if Lee works Joe instead, it's just better instantly. Right?
Agreed.
Okay. All right.
This
what did you think?
The woman's one.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm almost done. I had to put the bunny in there because why the fuck not, I guess. Mia Yim was in there. Chris Stat would have won. That's all. But I thought the match was better than I expected. The result was ass. There is a Charlotte Flair in AEW. And I will be protesting anything that Britt does. I think she should take a break for her health and for my eyes.
The confirmed shoot. If you would like to unmute yourself and step to the podium. What did you think of Britt Baker, DMD versus Ruby Soho? Bob O'Neill. What did you think of Britt Baker, DMD versus Ruby Soho?
You know, the match itself, I thought it was better than their first match a little bit. So that was good. But yeah, just it feels like the wrong result. And, you know, I knew they were going to do it. It just...
Did you? Did you actually think they were going to do this? Seriously. I didn't. I was too
After
optimistic.
Wednesday, I did, yeah.
Wow.
But...
yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's uninspired. You know, it just... Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Oracle. Britt Baker, Ruby Soho.
If I'm not mistaken, in the media scrum, said that Dax Harwood was the agent for this match.
Yes.
Which explains why it was actually good. Ruby's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Her entrance was incredible. I'm a big fan of Ruby's. I thought this was their best match together by far, and they've had 2 or 3. This was way better than the September match, and it was fine. I mean, it was good. It was a solid match. The sharpshooter desecrated tonight by everyone. That was shameful.
That one was horrific. I love Ruby, but that was crazy.
Is that a sharpshooter? Are you allowed to go on your knee in a sharpshooter?
I know. She was like just pulling legs and shit and hoping for the best.
Because if that's what you can do, then I will do that because that's a lot of squatting.
Britt winning was just ridiculous.
Oracle
Every
Graham.
way.
My bad, I froze. Good.
No, you're okay. Britt winning was just stupid in every way.
Yeah.
No business her winning. No reason. It's very clear that she is a TK favorite. She's very good at politicking. She's going to continue to get a massive push. Beware Jade Cargill. That's all I have to say.
Beware.
I'll tell you what, if Britt beats Jade Cargill, Jay Shell may never cover another AEW.
I don't want to think about that because I might not.
I just love that you said beware.
Watch that again.
I mean, she's not very good. She's
Joe,
bad often.
Joe, if that happens, will I get a pass from watching AEW? Can we just do retire the
Hang
ranking?
on, hold on. This is very important. There's a lot of people watching. This is the most I've ever watched Twitch stream. Are you suggesting that usually you do not get a pass from not watching wrestling? Since when has it been a rule at the Late Night Grin that we watch wrestling? I've never said that. I often don't watch wrestling.
Very
it's
true.
fine.
I was just saying that retire the rankings will solely be focused on WWE at that point.
That's fine.
And the rankings will be Bianca.
That's fine.
I agree.
I didn't like this match as much as you guys did. I thought it kind of sucked. Am I being unfair? Am I being unfair? Maybe I'm missing something. I didn't like it very much. After the big entrance.
In comparison, it was better than before, so that's why people are saying that it's better.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought the first match was terrible. This match was solid, I thought.
After the entrance, they had trading chants. And Britt cut her off and they just went back to dead silence. Because Britt is one of the worst professional wrestlers active in terms of actually controlling a match and being a heel and dictating the pace without losing people. And that I thought was prevalent here again. I mean, the finishing stretch was okay. I think a lot of the execution wasn't very good, but I didn't like it very much, to be totally honest. And I love Ruby. I thought the finish was insanity. I don't know why you do. I don't know why you'd have two heels win this thing to begin with, quite frankly, but I don't know. The OM was ultimately very frustrating. In that it could have been something great and instead was just a thing on the show.
I thought it was last night's biggest booking failure.
It was the low of the show, I thought, clearly. No, if you just I'm with you on the booking, but even if just in terms of feel, it was the low of the show, I thought,
Yeah.
And I will say, and listen, people are mean about Britt and stuff. I ain't trying to be personal or anything, but I genuinely think this division only goes as far as a certain level with her this present.
Period.
She's if she's going to be this central in this division, I don't know how high it can go. I really don't. There's a match later on the show I was very happy to love. But if Britt is always going to be around the top 5, which I'm sure she is because she's so over and they're not going to even change up her presentation at all. Maybe she'll be a babyface. I don't know. She shook hands with Ruby kind of, so maybe. But no, I'm not encouraged by this, unfortunately. Didn't like the match very much. 6 mixed trios. That's what they call this? Mixed trios? Is that what they called it in the end? They settled on that, right?
Concession was good, and Martha Hart did a very good job with her.
Yes, absolutely.
The
you're
belts
absolutely
are
correct.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why Ruby loses so much.
Hopefully that presentation gives the tournament more kind of stature moving forward, Hopefully, 'cause she did a wonderful job.
Oh, shit.
It is worth saying this. I agree with this totally. Ruby's going to be turning heel soon, I assume, because that is crazy storytelling. Just having her be I need this desperately for my career and then lose.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Men of the Year and Paige Van Zandt versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. The Oracle of Wrestling. What do you think, brother?
Terrible match. Worst match in the show. Awful. It was really bad. It was terrible.
It was the worst match on the show?
Well,
it was terrible. It was an awful match. I did like Ty's Maleficent gear, whatever it was she was wearing.
it did look nice.
She's gotten really good as like in terms of her mannerism.
Yeah.
She's excellent. The whole Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara mid-match crap was awful, terrible. I almost wanted to turn it off. It was so bad. So I actually thought Frankie worked hard with the match and his stuff looked good. I thought the inner that was just terrible. This match was so bad. It was so bad. It mercifully ended. I can't really get a good grasp of how Paige is yet. So I don't think she looked awful.
She just can't throw punches, which makes it really hard.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I thought this was really bad. This was terrible. This was by far the worst match of the show. Crowd didn't give two shits about it. Now they popped at the Ty getting super kicked by Sammy because that's kind of what people hate the couple and cheering a woman get kicked. But like it's ECW in 1995 or something. But I mean it was bad, man. Like the right team won. There was no babyface in this match. It was heel versus heels match.
That was weird, yeah.
And nobody knew who to cheer. And the funny thing is, there have been some awesome heels versus heel matches. Shield versus the Wyatt. It's one of the great heel versus heel matches ever.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, heel versus heel is actually better than face versus face, in my opinion. If I think that generally hits better, but they've done too many twists and turns and hurt the characters. They're doing too many twists and turns, babyface heel both ways, that makes people hate both teams. So there was crickets in this match until the final stretch, and it was just it was a really, really, really bad match. That was terrible.
I thought it was too long. I personally think it was terrible. I thought in some ways it actually added some variety to the show, which I thought kind of was necessary at this point. That's just me. Shoot, what do you think?
Who could possibly care?
I mean, you were pretty fired up about Paige,
man.
Right?
I liked when Frankie Kazarian quit the match and just came right back.
Yeah.
Well,
Paige is not ready yet. And she shouldn't be ready yet, so that's not a shot at her at all. Like, she's been training for like 3 weeks. Like, why did they do this?
I feel like they felt it was like they felt they needed to end it, but they didn't trust Paige. So they added Frankie and
well, either way, I'm glad it's over.
Yes, that much feels certain at least.
And I don't really want to talk about this anymore.
Bobby?
Yeah, the right team won. I'm glad new people are going to challenge for the TNT title. Match didn't really do anything for me, but, we're done with it, so that's good.
Jay Shell?
I have many thoughts about this. I think Paige Van Zandt looked better than I was expecting. I really was only interested in this match to see how Paige Van Zandt was going to do, because I like her as a personality. I feel like as a heel, she makes sense and she knows how to work the crowd. I don't think she meant to do that driver she did. I think she meant to do a body slam and she missed and it was a botch. And that's how that
violent.
Happened. It did not look good.
She's been doing those in her training videos. It just wasn't great.
It looked very scary. I was...
Oh, the Michinoku driver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoot Michinoku driver, bro.
Yeah. It was
but
scary.
all the other moves she was doing, basically the other person was just helping her out. Like, she had that good... Basically, I think it was a DDT or whatever with Sammy, and basically Sammy just flipped her around, and that was how it was. And I feel like that was what the majority of the match was for her, and that's how it should have been. I thought the Kazarian stuff was probably the more interesting piece of this. I thought Ty was a really good heel here. If you isolate her from Sammy, she's annoying. She knows good timing to be a heel. She's like putting her butt in the camera. Like, she knows what to do, but it's just not with Sammy. I mean, I guess if it helped her find it with Sammy, that's fine. But like them separately, them separate as heels, I feel like works better for me. But
I think they have a chance as heels if they feud with actual baby faces that people like.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do think there is a misconception of what this Sammy act actually is doing, though, in that, like, like this thing, like you lean into it and they be red hot heels. It's like, I don't know. People
I don't
boo.
know where they go from here. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. You guys may completely disagree. I think his fall in the last 3 months has been crazy in terms of like stature on the card. Sammy feels like a guy.
Rightfully.
That's fair. Look, we can all have our takes on him. None of us were saying he's our favorite wrestler, but did he not feel way more important just only months ago?
For sure.
I just think this idea of like, it's one bit to lean into and getting booed, but I don't think he's actually like, I don't think it's really doing anything good for the dude. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, they want to do that presentation and see what they want to do. To me, he feels like just a dude on the roster at this point, which probably in some ways is where he belongs. I don't know. But I'm just saying, in terms of like where he was at, presentation-wise, it's sure changed. All right. Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin. I personally thought this is where the show really got going in a big, big way. This was thrown on late. They had 10 minutes, and my God, did they produce something. It was physical. O'Reilly has really got in rhythm as a singles guy, which was, a process you kind of see take place on TV. Really, really like this one. Oracle, did this do anything for you, O'Reilly and Darby?
Really good match. Finally, a really good match in the show, which they had none up until that point. I truly believe that. And it was like, thank God, finally a good match. Because Darby Allin's a tremendous wrestler. And Kyle O'Reilly is, to be fair, a very excellent wrestler, but he was the good Kyle here. No goofing off. Physical, aggressive, violent, similar, kind of like those Balor matches.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the spots in this were incredible. The tope botch was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Is that when he hit his head and then they grabbed him?
Did a fucking flying capo kip tope by accident, and it looks absolutely amazing. One of the best spots in years.
What words did you just say, Oracle? Can you repeat that for me slowly?
What? I'm dead serious. I thought it was.
I love your passion. Like, if something's sequenced and spectacular, you hate it. But if it's almost certainly fucked up, it pops you huge. It's not my favorite thing about your wrestling grin.
That's why. Like it feels real to me. So like which I know sounds bizarre, but it felt real. So maybe pop even bigger.
Yes, I get that.
The opening knee was incredible. I busted up Darby's mouth. That was outstanding.
Yeah.
Huge. Just a tremendous physical match. Really, really, really good stuff. Great selling from Darby. Kyle O'Reilly was incredible on offense. The part where he pulled Darby's chain over his mouth looked like it fucking hurt.
I like that.
That ruled. This was really, really good. This finally it was like, okay, finally.
When you see O'Reilly wrestle like this, it's like, man, if he can really lock in and be this guy more often, I'm intrigued where he can go. Jay Shell, what did you think of this one?
I actually like this. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it was one of my favorite matches on the show, one of the better matches too. I think up until this point, I think I've really only liked the House of Black Death Triangle match and the ending of Jade and Anna. But beyond that, I don't know if there was anything that was really getting me interested in the show, and that's going to be a trend for the rest of the show after this. But I thought that this match was a lot better for me. Joe, don't look at me like that. I thought
very alarmed about what you just said. Very concerned about where this is going to go. Carry on. It's fine.
I thought that this match was a lot better than I expected. I liked I don't even know how to describe it, where like Darby flew out of the ring and then Kyle grabbed him and like a submission and just locked it in and wouldn't let him go. I love that. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the night. I thought it was really cool, really good transitions. I think they just have really good chemistry too that I wasn't expecting them to have.
Yeah, really nice stylistic matchup. Bob, what did you think?
Yeah, I actually liked it quite a bit. There was no build or whatever. They just kind of added it. But I think they did what they had to do with the time they were given. Just kind of two guys doing moves for 10 minutes. And yeah, it was good. Nice big win for Kyle too. Like to see him get involved in the TNT title picture or whatever. I like him as a singles guy quite a bit.
I was surprised by the finish. I have to say, I have no problem with it. It actually popped me, but I was surprised by it. Shoot, what did you think of this one?
I still don't really understand why it was on the show, but the match was really good, so it's hard to complain. I was surprised Kyle won. I can already tell from the last few weeks where I'm headed with Kyle O'Reilly, which is that I can appreciate how good he is, and I don't care about him at all. And he's apparently going to be a guy that Tony's going to push, so that's going to be interesting for me. But yeah, this was a good match.
I'm very concerned about where our friend Jay Shell is going next, because up next on this show, there's a couple matches that I like very much. There's one coming up that I will be very saddened by Jay Shell's potential grimace, but we'll start with the World Women's title. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. I thought they absolutely rocked.
Oh,
this.
I'm not bad here. I'm not.
The first half, especially, I thought was like great. I thought they kind of lost their way and it became kind of, or it lacked a little bit of an identity down the stretch at times. They were just doing stuff. But the quality of work was immense. Serena Deeb, listen, I've said it, and I know it's a talking point about whether she's a good TV personality. In ring, she's like absolutely one of their best workers, easily. I thought this was really, really good. Dare I say, borderline great. Oracle, did you like this one by any chance?
I did. It was really good. I think there was a final sequence towards the end of the match that was kind of iffy, maybe.
Yeah.
There was maybe some submission issues again. Submissions just were not kind to anybody tonight or last night. It was weird. It was a bad night for submissions. But in terms of like, they did a really good job of like pairing up. Well, first of all, Rosa's gear looked awesome.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job of pairing up, like mixing the styles of like Deeb was basically all submissions the whole match, and
she's a woman of 1,000 holds.
There you go.
Patron.
And Rosa did a really good job of just kind of being like really fiery and you know, having her hard hitting offense, which all looked really good and crisp. Yeah, this was a really, really good match. I thought they did a really good job. Really
happy too that like this deep in the show, the crowd was like willing to play ball from the start. They didn't have to like fight uphill. I thought this crowd was admirable in their energy, by the way. This was a long show, and I thought they were there for almost all of it. Jay Shell, what do you think of the World Women's title match?
I really liked it. I liked it more than I was expecting to like it. I don't really, sorry, I guess, but I really don't like most of Serena Deeb's matches. They don't intrigue me very much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a pacing thing for me because the way I like my women's matches are very fast paced and very high action.
More technical, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I thought that they did a really good job with the crowd. Women's matches, especially the women's title matches, will normally struggle with the crowd here and there, and they were really strong with that. I think the build was poor, except for maybe the last Rosa promo. I didn't like the basis of most of it. I wish that Serena would have harped on her substantial wins with Sheeta more to make that feud more interesting and more meaningful. I just wish that there was more connective tissue within the women's division overall. But I don't know.
She also beat Rosa for the NWA title a couple of years back, and I feel like you could have easily kind of done something with that too. Big performance for Thunder Rosa here, by the way. Had a shaky run, I thought, honestly, as of late. I thought she looked absolutely fabulous here. Shoot, what do you think of this one?
Match was great. I hated the build so much, but the match delivered, which I guess at the end of the day is all you can ask for. This was the best Thunder Rosa match in a long, long time. I agree with you that I was beginning to have some questions about her in some ways, because I truly came to love Thunder Rosa doing squashes on YouTube. I mean, the first Brit match was
with
incredible.
The butts. Remember when she posed with the butt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, she was great here. This was a great match.
I just heard butts and went, what?
Yeah, it was. I quickly realized.
Yeah.
My thoughts on Serena Deeb are very well known on this show, but I have nothing negative to say about her on this front.
Yeah, in ring, she's tremendous.
Yeah,
right?
she's very good.
Yeah. Bobby, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I like the match a lot. The build wasn't great. Hopefully now they have some time. They can kind of flesh out a build for Thunder Rosa. But yeah, the match definitely delivered, and that's at the end of the day what you're looking for.
Irish 138 has followed. We appreciate you, pal. All right, shoot. I know you got to go here, so I'm going to give you a chance to talk about this before we bid you farewell. Anarchy in the arena. Oh my God. Shoot, go for it.
easily one of my favorite professional wrestling matches of all time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying best. I'm saying favorite. As soon as they started fighting and Wild Thing was still playing, I got really excited. And then they restarted it, and I lost my mind.
So did the crowd.
Yeah. This was absolute beautiful. Well, to quote John Moxley, professional wrestling violence. Moxley's on an all-time run for me right now between this and the Tom Lawler match.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done other stuff too, but these two matches are both like in my top 5 for the year.
Wow.
I fucking loved this, man. This was just what a spectacle. Everything, like King coming out with the gas can.
One of the best visuals they've ever produced, right?
Yes.
It has to be.
What an incredible fucking
Only
visual.
he could pull that off, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Only he.
So many people, it would have looked like fucking cartoony or...
Yeah.
I can't wait for War Games, Blood and Guts, whatever.
Do you think they're going to make Regal say it?
Yeah,
no, because they can't say War Games.
but I think he'll go and they'll cut him off and he'll be like, oh yeah. And he'll do Blood and Guts
Yeah.
the same way.
I will say this. Where did I see it? This was about the only time that I was really bummed that the theater thing didn't work out for us. It was actually very weird that I've loved the theater, and yet I kind of really like just sitting on my couch and watching the show.
That rules.
Yeah, so there's a very real chance that the theater thing died last night for me.
Wow.
But I would have loved to have been in the theater for that match because that was just... That's a great joke. Yeah, this ruled. Everything about this was good. I loved it. Just the perfect amount of chaos without being like so, you know what I mean? Like you could still tell what the hell was going on. No lulls. Just, yeah, this fucking ruled, man. I immediately went and bought the poster they put out for this match.
I need to get that.
Yeah,
I need to figure
yeah,
out.
this was great. This feud rules. Whatever your thoughts on him personally, I don't think there's any question that Chris Jericho in the last 5 months now is back, as Reese just said in the chat. I'm happy for him that he's found one more run. Yeah, this is great. I cannot wait for Blood and Guts, War Games, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, this was a total home run. This is the best thing on the show by far.
One of the best things I think they've ever produced.
I agree.
Shoot, before you go, I do want to quickly give you a chance. Thoughts on the tag title match and then the world title match, the main event itself. Just before you go, put a kind of a bow on your review, pal. Go ahead.
The tag title match was great. Wrong team won. I'm not like super. It's not like it ruins any. I don't dislike Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus as much as a lot of people seem to now. I still think Jungle Boy is very good. I actually would have went with Swerve and Keith here, but I have some theories about what might be about to happen, potentially including the Young Bucks winning the tag titles on Friday in their hometown, or as close to their hometown as they're going to get. I'm probably totally wrong about that, but that 10-man set up some alarms for me there. And then the main event, I said on Friday that I was rooting for Hangman. I entered the match rooting for Hangman. By the end of the match, I was rooting for CM Punk. I don't think I was the only person who had that experience.
No.
I thought that match was great. They told a great story. I'm very interested to see where they go with Hangman from here. Obviously, I'm a big CM Punk fan, and so I have no issues with them putting the title on him. I feel like, we've talked to Joe. You've made this point before. If you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I thought this show was definitely not their strongest, but they've set a pretty high bar, in my opinion anyway. I thought the second half of the show really picked up. And all in all, I had a good time. It's worth my $50 plus whatever I paid for the movie theater tickets that I may or may not get my money back on. So, and then the post-show scrum, if you haven't watched it yet, it's one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen in my life. If you're a fan of the Oracle of Wrestling, then you will love Tony Khan's post-show scrum, especially the last hour and 20 minutes where he's by himself. Oracle and I basically watched that together via the DMs. More than once, I made it very clear that I thought that he was basically just doing an Oracle impression the entire time. All I want in life is to see Oracle and Tony Khan do a show together where they just talk about whatever the fuck pops in their head. It probably lasts 8.5 hours, and God knows what they talk about, but it would be incredible. With that, I will bid everyone farewell. Enjoy Jay Shell completely tearing apart the rest of this pay-per-view. Everybody have a good night.
Bye, Shu.
Have a good night,
Bye,
pal.
Shu.
Bless his heart. I asked him to join me here for some moral support. JK Schwartz sent a super chat, a super grin super. You can do that at streamlabs.com/late night grin. He
We
says,
should all smile when we get a super grin, Joe.
Bob?
Yay!
Is there not a middle ground between your face before and that? Is there not like a bridge you cross to get to one? Okay. He says, not ashamed that my biggest pop of the time in the arena was Julia all caps. Seems bad when I yelled Julia all caps and the rest of my section was confused. Well, it's not exactly a ringing endorsement of the program, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Thanks, pal. If you'd like to send a super grin yourself, you can do so streamlabs.com/late night grin. I have to say, we really do appreciate the Twitch grins. It is worth saying, and I think Fightful have said similar. Always, guys, remember that Streamlabs is like actually good to us. in that money is like ours. I think Twitch is going to be kicking the shit out of us on that front. So there you go. Also, to be clear, we're not going to do ads for nonsense. That was just a bit. Can we be clear about that? Bob wants to do them, but I said to him, don't do it.
What are
Anarchy.
channel points? What the fuck?
Anarchy in the arena. When I was watching this, all I could think about was the Oracle of Wrestling. And I watched this a couple of hours ago. I was thinking, please, God, please tell me Oracle wasn't too tired when he watched this. Please tell me Oracle was in the right spot when he was watching this. What was the case, Oracle?
Well, this was the main event for me. Incredible match. Incredible spectacle. Must see. Maybe the most must-see match of the entire year. The first part that popped me is when I realized Wild Thing was continuing to play. And I immediately thought, oh my God, they're doing the Gangsters tribute. And they did. The song played about 2 times. And when it started up again, it was incredible.
Place popped.
Jericho broke the
That was
thing. That was incredible.
Yeah.
When they were panning over because there was so much going on and Matt Menard was bleeding violently everywhere, I thought, this guy's incredible. He's proven this is the second time he's been incredible on a Brawl. This guy's amazing. Like he's great at this thing. He's great at these types of matches. He's excellent at it. He and Eddie Kingston were ripping each other to shreds. He bled all over Eddie.
Yeah, mustard,
and then they went and had a Tupelo concession stand brawl that Tony Schiavone called out. Where Eddie, it was just Eddie sprayed mustard all over Menard. Everybody bled but like Jericho and Hager, which was kind of surprising. Jericho didn't bleed. But just a crazy brawling. Santana and Ortiz were kind of left to do the big table spots, which was a good, that was fine. That worked out well. They spaced that out well. Eddie Kingston and Daniel Garcia attempting to murder one another in the concourse.
They've got some great
moments.
They've got something, They really have.
It was one of the great moments in the history of wrestling. And then when they went and Eddie vanished into the freight elevator with Danny Garcia and Matt Menard, and they just vanished. And he goes back to the ring, and there's this
I
great.
think we're calling somebody by the wrong name, Oracle.
Which one?
His name is Daddy Magic.
Oh gosh, his name's Matt Menard.
Daddy
He just goes
Magic.
by Daddy Magic. Then we go back to the ring or whatever. Danielson's performance in the latter 10 minutes was absolutely incredible. He was just incredible, wasn't he? I mean, he was just amazing.
You ain't right, bro. It is not fair. Every other wrestler on this earth should be protesting right now.
Because I noticed that he was kind of left to the side throughout the first. I thought,
yes.
Well, not being, but then he got his moment because he really had that babyface comeback. It was amazing.
Bro, it's not right. You should not be the technician he is, and then be in this set and be this
selling ability and comeback ability, and the way he's just his blood pouring down his face, and it was just incredible. And
yeah,
Moxley kind of felt like the most sane guy of all the people in his crew. Did you notice that?
He did have a couple
like the most sane guy of everybody in the match.
He had a couple Terry Funk.
There was almost like a storyline reason for that. He was like the guy to kind of like try to keep.
Yes, he was the glue. But did you see the bit when he just got up on the stand and did like a diving knee?
Yeah.
When he was swinging the camera, he still had a couple Terry Funk-esque.
There was the spot. Even Hager had some good stuff when he tackled. Yeah. Was it Santana or Ortiz that he tackled over the table or the timekeeper's table? Somebody, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That was insane. Eddie coming out with the gasoline.
Oh my God.
Was one of the great visuals. It was literally something you would see. That was literally very Terry Funk-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he comes, and it's just like, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Pours the gasoline. He and Danielson getting this awesome brawl. Moxley takes this insane bump off the apron to the barbed wire.
Like a flat bump, too. The thing just like folded. Like, it didn't even break. It just sort of went over.
And the best part is he stuck to the barbed wire, so he just fell over with the table didn't break. The finish was appropriately violent, just a horribly violent finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked grotesque. Danielson literally getting strangled while in the walls of Jericho by Hager. Because Moxley tore the ring up, which was incredible. Yeah, this was must see. This was the match I was looking forward to the most. Great match. I badly want to see blood and guts for these teams. I sincerely hope we get it. I will be disappointed if we do not.
Tony's hinting at it. He said they couldn't do it here because they sold tickets already. So it's all about the venue.
Babyfaces, they go again. They go.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I think Shoot might be right. I think Shoot said that he thinks it'll be in July. Well, I guess it would be in July because it seems like they're doing the. I think it'll be a Battle of the Belts. It's titled Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
And they'll do it in July on a live show in July after 4th of July.
I'm going to a show in July.
There you go. Hopefully.
But yeah,
how great was Mox's reaction to King and Danielson fighting? It was like,
it was great.
At this point in the game, we're going to do this. King immediately just slapped him across the face too. Immediately, not even any sort of.
The one negative thing I'll say is, and this is very minor, I thought the point from when Eddie was knocked out with the Judas effect to the point of the finish was too long for Eddie selling.
I do not disagree.
I don't think it was egregious or anything. I thought it was slightly too long.
I think there's something to it.
Stop. I was going to go to the Georgia one.
Him being like a zombie coming out, I think was to suggest that he was basically... He was on autopilot, I think was the idea.
Right, okay.
I did also like that when Danielson was in the submission, the place came up with the Eddie chance because they thought the same thing you did. I was like, he's surely going to... I almost thought that made it more kind of tragic.
In a way it worked, yeah.
Yeah. Jay Shell, I'm aware that this is not going to give you quite the sort of sickening grin that gave Oracle and I as we talk this, but was this still fun for you, the chaos it was?
Can I be for real? I don't remember any of this match.
What happened? Did you fall asleep?
No, I was awake, but this was the point of the show where I got tired because I was I got annoyed. I was I want Ricky now. Once we got to the Britt Baker match, I was like, I need Ricky. I'm done with this show. I need Ricky. I need Ricky. I need Ricky. So this whole point of time, I was waiting to see the tag match, and this match came up. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good match. I'm gonna try and watch it. And then I started it, and then I was there for like the first 2 minutes, and then I was like, oh, they're playing the music again. And then after that, I don't know what happened. I saw mustard. I saw the gasoline can. I saw them fight each other, and then I barely remember the finish. All I know is Jake Hager was involved, and they were hitting him with a turnbuckle or something. So that's all I remember. I probably have to go back and rewatch it. I probably have to go back and rewatch a lot of the show because Jesus Christ, I don't know what was happening, but I felt like I was in trance. It always happens with AEW pay-per-views. I think it's the length for me.
Do you consider the Oracle of Wrestling a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Are you aware that on public record you just said that you were ignoring this match as you was waiting instead for a Luchasaurus bout that would be taking place on the same show?
It is not Luchasaurus. It is Ricky Starks. It is 4 black people. It is Ricky Starks, Swerve, Keith Lee, and
He was
Hobbs.
there. He was goozling people. I see him. He's goozling people. He's doing his spin kick.
I was not paying attention to that man. I was paying attention to Ricky Starks walking the ropes and jerking his penis in the air.
Hang on. I forgot this. I forgot
I
Brian.
beg your pardon?
Dude, I forgot they took like a one shot on Brian's face while he screamed, I'm going to kick his fucking head in.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody send me or tag me in the Garcia pile driver? I really don't remember seeing that.
Yeah,
He paused around somebody on the apron.
Garcia
I
was
also
great.
think
Yeah.
I think I was having a really deep conversation with my boyfriend. I literally am just now remembering
Deep
what was happening and why this. Oh my god, Joe, I'm gonna text you. So you
Okay.
understand why I wasn't
Now,
paying attention.
now I'm alarmed. Bobby? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
do you
this ruled.
Good.
I was really looking forward to it. Once I realized they were just going to keep playing the music, that's really all it took for me. But, then to go all in and kind of do just some of the stuff we've seen in just Falls Count Anywhere hardcore matches of the past where, it reminded me of some of those 1990s WCW ones, some of the hardcore title WWF ones. And I like that stuff, man. Like, I like when they go all over the building and, do a brawl and everyone got color, kind of like we're looking for. Kingston coming out with the gas can is going to be an incredible visual forever. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to Blood and Guts, all that stuff.
Key was it never felt like we were going from one like set up spot to another, other than like Santana and Ortiz and the tables. Like most of it felt totally organic. Like the cameraman were actually trying to keep up with it because I think most of it was totally organic. This was unbelievable.
Can you
I have
imagine being Brie Bella and watching your husband
Pop.
just like this?
I have to say I completely misread this. I thought this would be like a tame walk and brawl. And this was like the match I didn't think they would ever actually do on this stage.
Eddie was incredible in this.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking extraordinary professional wrestler, as we know, Oracle.
His separate brawls with Menard or Daddy Magic, or how his name is.
They just beat the hell out of each other, don't they?
Oh, yeah, I know. And the Garcia stuff, is just incredible.
Yeah, I kind of hope they do Kingston and Danielson on TV again. Because that last match they had fucking ruled, and it feels like a natural storyline to do it. Yes, Jay Shaw.
Does anybody remember the match that Caprice Coleman was the commentator on?
Yeah, it was the Hardys one.
Okay. I liked it. I think they should hire him, and I think they're going to make him very happy.
You know when they have a guest, I think they should probably let Jim have a little nap. Because he sounds like actively frustrated and tired and mad. He sounds like the Oracle of Wrestling on commentary. You could tell he wanted to be excited for the match, but he was also like, "This is a long show, isn't it?"
Yeah.
I think he's getting ready to retire.
What about when Excalibur's mic broke and he went, rather than talking to Tony and just filling dead air, he went, "Hey Excalibur, how you doing? You're looking great. Your microphone's broke." That seemed unnecessary. Seemed unnecessary to me, but what do I know?
He just signed a new deal. Oh, go. Nope, I cannot tell that legend to go fuck himself.
Oracle and I, when we hear the new deal. more actively frustrated commentary calls on TV. This is one of my favorite matches in AEW history. This was absolutely nuts. AEW World Tag Team Title, Triple Threat, Jurassic Express, Swerve in Our Glory, the official name now. Team Taz. I thought this would be very good. I think it was very good. I will say I thought it was a beat too long. I thought that our favorite wrestler, Powerhouse Hobbs, who I truly do adore, I thought he struggled slightly to adjust to this style because this is a lot of moving pieces. And I say that with absolute love for the man because he's one of my favorites. This Swerve Keith Lee team special. I love the match. I did not love the result. Bobby, what do you think of the co-main event here?
Yeah, the match was great. Really big fan of it. I think the wrong team won. I think either of the other two could have won. It would have been fine. I just don't really understand keeping it on Jurassic Express. And that was really the big knock. Like, and to still just not do the Christian turn. Like, I've been waiting for Christian Jungle Boy for about 6 months now. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd like him to just get to that already. And I don't know, man. Like, I guess, let it play out or whatever, see where it's going. But I would have liked one of the other teams to win.
Jay Shell, I think I'm aware of your frustration with the result, and I actually think we all kind of share it. What did you think of the match itself? Because it did seem like one that stylistically you'd have fun with.
It was my match of the night. Besides
Really?
the result, this was my match of the night. I was most looking forward to this match. No surprise, obviously, it has 4 of my favorite wrestlers in it. But I think that this was a really good highlighting piece for Swerve, Keith, Hobbs, and Ricky. I'm gonna act like Jurassic Express wasn't in this match because they were just helping hands to me because I did not see any of them in this match. Fucking Dinosaur, go fuck yourself, dude. Go fuck yourself. I swear to God. I don't care how over he is. I don't care how big his pop is. I don't give a flying fuck. If you see Keith Lee do a fucking roll over the top rope,
that rolled.
I don't give a fuck what Luchasaurus is doing.
Keith Lee's amazing.
Ricky walked the rope to like 3/4 of the rope.
He did it Wednesday too. It's like his new thing.
Dude, I fucking love that shit.
That's JR called him an idiot.
He did, yeah.
I don't give a fuck, JR. I almost told JR to go fuck himself earlier. My favorite match. And Swerve looked so good. Keith was in rare form tonight. It was just so perfect. The opportunity was right there. So Jurassic Express fucking sucked it.
Keith Lee, I was so wrong about Keith Lee.
Thank you, Joe.
I never got Keith Lee fully. I think he's fucking awesome. He's so charismatic. Oh my God. He's like...
Did you hear him sing?
Yeah, he was watching the guys work and just like popping and laughing about it. Like it was just incredible. His presence.
If Luchasaurus is the lizard, then
Oracle.
I was gonna make a wizard joke.
You don't remember any of this match, do you?
No. Bits and pieces. It's 11:40.
You and Jay Shell are in opposite spots.
It's 11:40 p.m. Eastern. I began to realize that the show probably had an hour or so left, and that was upsetting to me. I was tired. I had to go to work in the morning. I thought, oh no. Yeah. So I said, well, I mean, I got to get it done, so I got to go. I said, well, get my dental floss out. I began flossing my teeth. Then I brushed them, and I, did the mouthwash gimmick. Put on my special paste for my sensitive teeth. Did all my dental work.
What's happening right now?
I caught some cool spots from Swerve and Keith during all this.
Yeah.
Seemed like the crowd was hot for it. The crowd was very hot in the last hour and a half.
They were amazing. They really were.
So credit to him for that. Reminder that it was 3 hours earlier or whatever the hell it was. So I think that honestly factored in.
I agree, but it's still long, right? I mean, God bless him.
Oh, I know, but it's just
yeah. Can I ask something? Because I didn't watch this live, and I'm genuinely unsure if my maths messed up. I swear the basketball ended like
the basketball.
Yeah, like the NBA game he was planning around.
Well, I've got an opinion on that.
All right, go on then.
Would you like me to share it?
Yes.
I think he worked himself into a shoot on Game 7, and I think he panicked too much about that, and I thought that was a mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake, but I don't think it was necessary. That's the right word.
When did it end?
I think right around Darby and Kyle or Anarchy at the arena.
Because it ended, it was on once. Let me try and figure out the maths here. Started at 9:30 Eastern, right? When did it start? 8:30 Eastern? 8:30, right?
Yeah.
And it was done at like 11.
Yes.
What? I will answer somewhat covertly. Shut up for. I work in a warehouse distribution plant.
WWEshop.com.
So physical labor.
Okay, in all seriousness, I was genuinely confused by this. I watched the NBA game, and it ended at a time where I looked at the clock and was like, that's when they would probably be going to the main event anyway. I was very confused by this part of the conversation. I didn't really understand it. But anyway.
Go Celtics!
Well,
that's disgusting.
I don't. Warriors are probably winning. They're incredible.
Stop.
I don't know.
I'm not allowed to hear this.
I wish I could agree, but I don't know.
La 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 la.
I think you're just scared of the Celtics, and
you think? I'm fucking terrified of them.
Well, anyways, I think that was I think it was unnecessary. There was no reason for him to worry about that game. The people who were going to watch the show or buy the show late were going to do it anyways, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that. The people who bought the show late after the game were the ones who were going to watch the game and buy the show anyways. So I'm convinced of that. So I think it
Make
was
your predictions in the chat. I will be judging you.
I think it was whatever. So anyways, this match was fine. At this point, so lately, like schools in Knox County went out last week, and I began to get very bored after because the show was going on way too long. So I just started thinking about like holiday breaks, when I was a kid, differences and stuff like that. What time of year we get out of school, what time we'd go back, what holidays we got off, and
that was much more exciting.
And I was just, it was. I got bored, man. I got bored. That's a me thing. That's just I don't have the patience to sit through.
I feel like you could have better kind of tricks up your sleeve to ramp up the excitement than that. I don't feel like the most dynamic alternative is all I'm saying,
Well, I think the reason I was just sitting there thinking because I didn't want to totally turn away from the show, right? Because then if I open up the laptop and I start doing something else, then it feels like I'm wasting my money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. As opposed to this.
Yes, as opposed to just sitting there and thinking about my Christmas break when I was in 10th grade. I'm not making this up, people. This is literally what I was doing. I was bored. I was so tired of the show that I
literally graduate next week. Oh shit! Sorry.
I literally blanked.
Oh,
and
God.
That was just kind of
Right.
I don't know. I feel bad almost saying that, but it's just the truth. Like I was just very bored. It was way too long. I kind of woke up out of the trance towards the finish of the main event, and I thought, "Oh, cool, Punk won." I enjoyed.
What you're describing is a trance?
Yeah.
Were you that deep in thought about it?
I was just kind of staring at the TV and thinking about other things. I wasn't really.
Does this happen a lot?
It does happen often. I just don't have.
The school vacation.
Did you disassociate, Oracle?
What?
Did you disassociate?
Yes, I
do that.
I got bored. I got easily bored.
Yeah.
It's just when I get bored, I just don't like.
Did you pace furiously?
No, I just sat there and was just kind of like I was tired. I was just kind of slouching on the couch,
Do that again. That's slouching.
I'm beginning to think that if I get to that point in the show, I probably should just turn it off and finish it later.
I reckon so, mate.
But the problem is I don't like to be spoiled on big pay-per-views.
I know. But
so it's like I feel like I have to watch, but it's just honestly, this is kind of making me rethink about how I handle these AEW shows. The problem is with my work schedule, I may not have time to watch the rest of the show and like get on the review with y'all, so I may have to skip out on that. But I'm considering. But here's the thing: Tony even said on the Scrum that the next show is not going to be 4 hours and 45 minutes. He thinks all else is probably going to go 3.5, 4.
It was unique. For whether we agree with that, I'm actually with you. I think you overthought it, but I don't know. I don't disagree with any of the times, though. I just it doesn't bother me, but that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's whatever. It depends on.
Did you watch it live, Joe?
No, but I think that's part of the conversation. Like, Oracle just said it himself, so I'm not digging Oracle out. He just literally said it. Like, there's this weird thing on social where people talk about like they like have to watch it. It's like you don't.
Yeah.
Like Oracle just said it. So now I understand that circumstance. You don't have it spoiled. But what I mean is like when they add matches, right? People will legitimately respond to it like they're like stuck to their chair and have to watch it. And it's like just go fucking do something, man. Like ain't that deep. You can watch it the next day and skip it. You know?
You don't have to watch it. And the thing is, I don't know. It's hard because I feel it, but at the same time, I have to remember myself. I don't have to watch this. Not right now, you know.
I also don't think the way that they organized the schedule helped because it seemed like the beginning. I know they probably did it because the Celtics game, but like the beginning was pretty slow in terms of matches. Like there was no heat, there was no. I mean, the booking was weird to begin with, so that didn't help it either. But like the pacing and the show format was weird.
I agree with that, but I kind of think they may have stumbled into a better way of doing it. And what I mean by that is, remember the last show? It felt like they were tired by the last third of the pay-per-view. The live crowd honestly felt like way up for those last 3 matches here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that's because, frankly, that was the stuff they really wanted to see. Now, whether that means there was stuff on the first half that could have been cut, I think we all agree there was stuff that could have been cut.
So let me say this about Cody's comment real quick.
What was the comment?
Tony said he's prepared to get their money's worth for $50.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant Cody Rhodes.
So I think, I mean, I think TK's right there, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I get what he's saying, but and I said this in the DMs to Shoot and last night. It was so long that I felt like it felt like I wanted some of my money back. That's how long it felt. I'm not kidding. I mean, I wouldn't quite go that far, but it almost felt like that. You know what I mean? It was like, this is so long. Yeah. I kind of wanted to be like $35 because this is like taking up my time now. Which again, I didn't have to watch it, but it's, you know, it's a me thing, but it's yeah, I'm a quality over quantity guy. Not to say that because ultimately the show was not bad. There were a lot of things I disliked about it, but it was a good show. It was just too long. You know, that was my biggest criticism of the show.
My only thing with length is how it affects the am I back?
Yeah.
How it affects the crowd, and I thought it was fine here. That's just the only thing I would say. When it kills the crowd, it's a problem.
It's done it before, yeah.
I genuinely, I think there's stuff here that was clearly too long, like 12 minutes for the trio, the mixed trios. You know, what was the one that stood out to me earlier? There was one that was a stretch long in it, like the Young Bucks match, obviously. But like, I just don't. I don't have an issue for it. I thought the crowd had a hell of a time for most of it. I thought they were there live for the last stretch, which was 5 hours in. As long as the main event didn't have a dead crowd, I was cool with it. So I haven't got a problem with it, but I get it.
Is it hot where you guys are?
What do you mean? What do you mean hot? Like hot?
Weather, yeah.
I mean, it's like
this is my fan. Guys,
it was like 87 today in Knoxville, but it felt like 90.
Yeah, it's 90 here.
That's about what it was here.
CM Punk versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm unaware of where everyone's at on this. I know the Oracle of Wrestling does not remember it. He just remembers the finish, which is hilarious in a range of ways. Bobby, this was a big match. 2 guys you're a big fan of. You absolutely cursed Hangman with your pre-match tweet of...
I did.
Of Let's Go Hangman, which I was awake. I'd have known immediately the finish. It was basically a spoiler. What did you get in the main event?
I thought it was good. You know, it felt kind of weird to me because it was missing something. Maybe I had some of the fatigue as well, where, you know, it's just such a long show. And, like, you know, by that point, you're kind of just like, let's get it over with. And I think that's unfair because it was a very good match. But for whatever reason, I had problem like really getting into it, connecting with it. Yeah, I thought the finishing stretch was very good. And I hope that it's not just a one and done. I'd like to see him wrestle again. But yeah, it felt like there was something missing. It was kind of weird.
Intriguing. Jay Shell, I know that these are more kind of old school in pace, right? A lot more, you know, they're not because as move heavy. Did this suffer from your kind of exhaustion also, or just not for you?
Am I talking about the match or the result?
The match itself.
Okay. I feel like the match was fine. I like the finish, kind of. I liked Hangman exploring the heel stuff. I don't know. It didn't really click for me. I feel like I should have given a warning at the beginning. I don't like CM Punk matches very much. I don't like the way he works. It's more old school than I'm used to or than I prefer. I also don't have the nostalgia for CM Punk that most do. I started watching right after he left WWE, so I don't feel any of that. And a lot of what he does now is kind of basing on his nostalgia and how he's been away and all of those things. I don't have many of those feelings, so that doesn't really work for me. Even when I talk about the finish, that's going to come a lot into play. But I mean, the result, it was fine. I mean, it's what I was expecting. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to love this match or to swoon over it either way.
Right.
So.
Oracle, I assume you don't have a lot to hear, right? Because you kind of was in your aforementioned trance. Am I correct?
Trying to decide if I accidentally tipped about 85% on Uber Eats, and I might not be able to get that money back, but that's fine.
85%?
Yeah, it's a holiday. Maybe the guy earned it.
All right. You try and figure it out, Pat. That sounds alarming. I really like this match. So I loved it. I thought they had a big fight feel in the building after 5 long hours. I thought the intensity early was great. I love how seriously both guys took it in the early opening exchanges there, with the lock-up and the little kind of one-upsmanship along the way. There was a nice stretch in the middle where it felt like Hangman was just too fresh and too explosive for Punk. I think that was showing, and maybe he got a little bit arrogant at times. There was some really nice kind of story beats with Punk constantly going up and trying to prove he could hang in that regard and paying the price for it. He fucked up the buckshot lariat twice, which honestly is borderline endearing to me at this point, because it's just it looks so painful the first time, and the idea that he would do it twice for it to be worse is incredible.
His knees just go
incredible. So I really, really liked it. I love the finish. I know that it's been like somewhat divisive. I've only been online for the last couple of hours, but I love the finish of Hangman basically having a choice, and he chose right, and he acted as his nature would suggest he would, and he paid the price for it, but not in an obvious way where Punk punched him in the balls and they did that kind of thing. It was more just he took too long. Punk made him pay. I like that finish very much. I said on my predictions, the more I thought about it, I did not think Punk was turning heel this weekend. I don't think they fleshed that out at all, and I think it was kind of undercooked. So I think he's going to be the babyface champ for a little bit that eventually turns heel to preserve his reign. I really liked it. Really, really liked it. I think it was clearly the right result. I know you guys are kind of split on this. I just thought it was clearly time to move to Punk as champ. I love Hangman. He's 30. He has a long time to get where he's the true ace.
Yeah.
Right now, he's a guy who's still like building that kind of that true stature of top guy to me. I don't think he feels like as big a deal as Punk or Moxley or even Danielson at his absolute peak. And that isn't an indictment or a criticism of Hangman Page. It's just the fact that he's brand new to being a top guy. And it takes years. You have to convince people over years that you're truly that dude, And so that's just my personal read on it. I thought it was clearly the right decision. Jay Shell, I sense you are less keen on old Punker winning the belt. What do you think?
I had feelings about this leading up to it for a while. I prefer. Okay. I mean, obviously, Punk's not a heel yet, but I prefer babyface champions. And I think the way that Hangman was champion was extremely fit for this transitional period of AEW. Obviously, the timing of his title win probably wasn't ideal for him. There were a bunch of big guys coming in right as he was winning the title, so he probably knew that it was going to end sooner or later. I know people probably thought that you shouldn't, but I would have kept CM Punk away from the title until like his last year in the business. Like I would have had it be like a final hurrah thing for him. But I mean, I get it now. I don't have any interest in CM Punk main event matches. I probably won't be watching many of the main events. It doesn't interest me. I also made a list of people that I could have seen taking the belt off of Hangman instead of Punk. Previously, I already had MJF earmarked. I also had Miro, Eddie Kingston, Keith Lee, and maybe even Darby. But Darby's been losing a lot recently. But I also had those in mind. But yeah, I'm not very interested in this reign. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not coming to turn it off, but it's not for me. I'm not incredibly interested.
Bob, where do you stand on Punk as champ?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I figured they were going to do it eventually. I think he can be fine. I think he can really make a guy who ends up beating him. And, you know, Hangman's reign, I think, ended up being fine. Like, you know, the chase is still going to be an all-timer, even if the reign wasn't really, you know, overwhelmingly memorable. But I think it was a good reign, and I think he'll get back there.
Oracle, are you more or less interested in the product with Punk as world champion? Where do you stand on the actual end game here? The outcome?
Probably more interested. I think there's some interesting stories they could do there.
Yeah, me too.
Seems my tip was not as high as I thought and feared.
Good.
So when there was a whole issue, and I talked to the Uber Eats on the Twitter gimmick, and they said we sent you an email and
you sent a tweet
to your account.
When you send a tweet, they respond.
Yeah, and
they gift cards.
So it looks like I ended up giving a 20% because the whole thing, the tip service seemed down on my app, and like I really wanted to tip the guy because I believe in tipping.
Yes.
And like I felt bad, and I really.
I do too, but you know.
But I was trying to tip, and like I did it like 2 or 3 times in a row, and I was like, God, I hope I didn't overcharge. So that's when I went to them.
Yeah.
And they probably just went in and tipped him and just picked like whatever and tipped him.
So you're excited about Punk as champ?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. JJ cheered 5 bits. I'm very fired up for it. I think the title belt needs to be the centerpiece of the show, and I think Punk's going to make it that. Jay Shaw has reminded me in the private chat that Roosh is in AEW. Him and Andrade. It looks like the AFO is done. This is going to be like the start of his new group. Jay Shaw, what do you think?
I actually like this. I mean, I know he has his issues, and he is who he is.
He's interesting. Interesting guy.
But there is some real chemistry and a connection between him and Andrade. I think this will be a better position for Andrade. But I actually kind of like some of his recent ROH stuff, but that's probably because I haven't seen anything beyond it. So there's that. But I don't know. It'll be cool. They'll probably do some cool tag team stuff, and I'll pop for it. So
did get the vibes they're going to be a team, right? Like in some form or fashion.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah. Okay. Double or Nothing is in the books. It has been far more polarizing than I thought it would be, but I will say that I did log on to the Fight app and see that it was 4 hours and 43 minutes and thought, that would have been a conversation last night. I was glad to be watching at 5 p.m. here in Great Britain, rather than all the many times you guys were watching it. But final thoughts on Double or Nothing. Bob, I'll start with you.
I think it was good. I don't know that it was as good as the other Double or Nothings they've done, but I think it was good overall. You know, there was a lot of stuff in the early kind of going that was more filler. Kind of felt more like a boxing or UFC card where there was like an undercard, and then you got to that main event part where, you know, it definitely escalated, which it's fine. I mean, it worked out. Like, I feel like I got my $50 worth of enjoyment out of it, so that's really all that matters.
If you were to give it a rating, Bob, what would you give it in chat? Do the same. Give me a number out of 10 for Double or Nothing. Bob, what would you go with?
7.5.
Okay. Jay Shell, what's your final conclusion on Double or Nothing as I throw some of these on the screen?
Yeah, I'm going to go 6 too. I wanted to say 5.5 because out of the whole show, I think I really liked 5 matches, and there was 13 matches on the card.
That is a lot of matches.
So I don't know what you want to do with that, but overall, I thought it was fine. I mean, it's not like I regret watching it or anything like that. There were some good parts. Obviously, I've just had to come to terms with not everything in AEW is for me, especially when it comes to pay-per-views. I mean, it's not a promotion booked for me. no, I'm not going to insult fan bases. Never mind. It's just not for me.
Oracle, final thoughts on Double or Nothing?
Good show. They've never had a bad show. But I do think this was All Out 2020 was rough, but I don't think that show was even that bad. It was a rough show. This was the worst pay-per-view since All Out 2020, in my opinion.
That's the one with the tooth and nail match.
Oh, the Revolution, I think was what, the barbed wire show. That was thin. They didn't have a lot. Revolution 2021. Remember
that might have been. I don't know. This show
Eddie Kingston didn't even wrestle on that show, bro. Should have got a refund.
True. That's true. This wasn't for me ultimately. I mean, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, but like,
there you go. Fun times. Grin game night. For those you haven't seen it, check it out on the channel.
But this was. I agree. WrestleMania.
I have the other one.
There you go.
I agree with that. WrestleMania was a better show.
WrestleMania. Which night though?
I think night one was certainly better.
Oh shit!
I haven't seen the first half. I can't really comment.
That's the one with Bianca.
I thought the whole week. I thought the whole Mania weekend was better. But I mean, like All Out 2021 is still their best show, right? But like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried. I just, I'm not worried or anything. Man. You know what I mean? It's just.
As Oracle's video froze then while he said he wasn't worried, and I legitimately thought he was terrified because he looked actively scared and his mouth wasn't moving. So,
well, you know what I mean. I wasn't concerned.
Right,
I'm not concerned about the future of the company.
Did you storm around your place like this piece of shit, Tony? Can't you put your hand through a clock or anything over there?
No, but I did watch the whole thing with Shoot, the media scrum, and. She was like, "We should do a podcast with you and Tony Khan." And I said, "Well, I'd have to start the show with, well, Tony, I guess I have to apologize for calling you a fucking idiot multiple times on this podcast."
Yeah, that would be a little bit awkward. I don't think he takes that very well, to be fair. Not anyone would. Really.
Could you imagine he would go, "That's fucking bullshit," and then go on a tirade about how CM Punk
made a lot of money.
Will you guys please check the group chat?
Yes.
Oh, Rush is very good, by the way, and he was one of the best wrestlers in the world in 2013, 2014. Had an all-time great feud with Negro Dodger. And I think he's should be an exciting addition. I find it absolutely hilarious. The MJF situation went down, and now they've signed Rush. Okay.
Yeah, that does roll. Yeah. I had a great time with this show. I watched this with my family. My folks are very old. They did not begin to talk about school vacations during the co-main event of the program, but you get what you get. We're built different here in Great Britain. No, in all seriousness, I had a great time. I'm probably 7.5 to 8, probably more the latter, to be honest with you. The 10-man Anarchy in the Arena is legitimately one of the best matches I think they've ever done. I couldn't believe how absurd it was and how great it was. Stylistically, it was totally something that I didn't expect them to pull off, and they did it. Loved the last 4 matches actually. 5, right? O'Reilly and Darby. Last 5 matches I thought were great. So
I said 5 too. Look, we're twins, Joe.
But I liked some of the earlier stuff more than you guys. Like I get the Hardys thing. I honestly like the match, and I don't think if I rewatched it, I'd probably agree with you guys because the chat seems to be with you. But I liked it.
They want Bob to give a pick or something.
Oh yeah, because there weren't no Bert today, Bob.
Over.
Can you say the whole picks like people listening don't have to,
Well, the game starts like 10 minutes, but yes. Rangers, Hurricanes go over 5.5.
Thanks, Bob. Also, the House of Black match was great. I really liked the show. I really did. But
Julia.
You get what you get. I will agree that I don't think it was one of their strongest pay-per-views, especially in this last run. Probably the weakest of the last cycle, but I personally think it speaks more to the cycle than anything else. I'm very excited about Punk as champ. I'm intrigued what programs they go with. I think matchups with Moxley, Danielson, Joe, maybe an Omega when he gets back. I think is big time stuff, and I'm in for another summer of Punk. So, folks, we hope you've enjoyed.
Who's dethroning him?
Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Gonna beat the shit out of that.
Are you on the same page as us?
I would hope it's Eddie Kingston that would Brawl, but I think if not him, Wardlow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might do both, to be honest. They might have King win it short and then go back and then, we'll see. We hope you've enjoyed this.
Oh, they want us to raid.
Who's on?
Chris Hero.
He hasn't replied to my DM. I don't know if I want to do that, Okay, I'll raid Chris Hero. Fuck it. Okay,
Watch Wrestling with Whiteness. If you don't, then you're racist.
Let me say bye to everyone on Twitch. All right, we're gonna raid now. We're gonna continue to record for YouTube and say actually goodbye. But everyone on Twitch, we hope you've had fun. Sign up to latenightgrin.com if you would like to watch the Burt tomorrow. I believe Jack Crosby may be joining us. I believe. Hopefully that piece of shit's figured out his internet. But we'll be raiding here in 5 seconds. I'll do some final plugs and promotions. Okay, bye Twitch. Okay. That should have worked. I hope it did. If you're watching on YouTube, bye. All right, man. Enjoy the outro.